Hello everyone, today I'll be reviewing King Kong. So King Kong is a monster adventure film that came out in 1933, and if by some chance you've never heard of King Kong before, Kong is a giant gorilla who lives on an island in the middle of the ocean. So at the start of the film we see in New York City we meet this filmmaker called Carl Denham, and he wants to make this new exciting picture, and he finds this woman called Ann Darrow, played by Fay Wray, to star in his movie. We also see another character called Jack Driscoll, who is the first mate aboard this ship, and on this ship we see lots of people including Carl Denham, Jack Driscoll, Fay Wray, and they all go off on the ship towards this island where they find these natives have got this big wall to protect themselves from the creature of Kong. So we basically get lots of events turn out where Kong comes and steals Ann Darrow, and then Carl Denham and Jack Driscoll try to rescue her. So this is a very iconic film. I'm pretty sure if you've never seen this, you're most likely very aware of who King Kong is as a character. He's become one of the most iconic monsters in all of films. And in fact, this film actually did have a sequel called Son of Kong, which came out only 8.5 months later, and also had a 1976 remake with Jeff Bridges. It had a 2005 remake with Jack Black, directed by Peter Jackson, and it was a 2017 one called Kong Skull Island. But really, this is where it all started. This is the original one, and this film really represents a big step up in technology, especially with the stop motion technology that they had at the time. This really was very groundbreaking, all this stuff. Obviously, looking at it now, it doesn't look anywhere near as good as all the CGI animation that they have in modern films. But you have to remember, this came out in 1933, and watching this for the first time in 1933 must have been really something special. And I think a lot of the scenes, they still do look very good. I think it is a very watchable film if you respect it for the time it came out and you really see how audiences would have viewed it for the first time. I really enjoyed this film. It was really a good, fun film. It's the plot is very simple. It's very straightforward. It's very easy to follow. You're not really going to misunderstand what's going on here. It's pretty much as soon as they get to the island and Kong appears, the film never stops. It's always good fun all the way through. It just keeps going. It's thrilling. It's exciting. And yeah, it really gets the heart beating, puts you on the edge of your seat. And yeah, you can have a lot of fun with this movie if you don't take it too seriously. There's so many iconic scenes in this film with King Kong when he's fighting a sea monster, and the T-Rex and the pterodactyl and all those sorts of things on the island. And it's very interesting when you look at it and you think about how it was filmed with the stop motion technology, because there's all sorts of times when they actually have the characters being actually filmed, and they have the rear projection technology in the background where they have the stop motion taking place. So it looks like the real people are in the same scene as Kong or the monster. It's all very cleverly done and was very groundbreaking at the time. Ironically, this film actually was not nominated for any Oscars. Had the special effects category been there at the time, then this film would have won it, no doubt. Obviously, probably the most iconic scene in the film is when Kong takes Anne and climbs up to the top of the Empire State Building to protect her, and there's loads of planes flying around shooting at Kong. That is a very iconic scene and still today very well known. I have to say, I think this is a fantastic film altogether. I don't really have many complaints about it, many things I didn't like. The only thing I probably didn't like was I did find Ann Darrow screaming to get a bit annoying after a while. She does seem to scream an awful lot in this film. There's one scene where she has to pretend to scream, where Carl Denham is filming her, and Carl says, pretend you've seen something scary, and then she screams, and then she also screams a lot on the island when they actually get there, and it's just not a very pleasant sound to listen to when you're watching the film. I mean, you may disagree, it might not bother you, so let me know anyway. And I suppose probably in terms of the acting isn't always brilliant, but then again, for the time, I suppose acting wasn't always the best priority, but I think really for its time, it does a very good job of showing who the characters are And really this isn't meant to be a serious drama film anyway. It's meant to be a fun monster action adventure film. And for that, I think still today it's probably one of the best, especially for its time. You have to remember this film really paved the way for a lot of monster adventure films like Godzilla and all those sorts of films, because this was 1933, remember. Another thing which is very good about this film is the score. So Max Steiner did the score for this film, and Max Steiner was an excellent film composer. He also did the score for Gone with the Wind, which is one of the greatest scores of all time. But anyway, in this film, the score, it fits the film perfectly. And what happens is we get lots of sequences. For example, when Kong is fighting a sea monster, and the score matches when Kong is doing the punches and when he's actually fighting the sea monster. So the music gets louder when he does the punches. It all matches it very perfectly. And this was actually one of the first films to have a proper thematic film score, which actually fits with the film. Obviously, lots of films went on to have iconic film scores. And I think this one, though it probably does sound a little bit dated now, I think it still sounds a really good score, really fits the film very well. And right at the start, you get that score going to get you into the film. So this version I watched, which was the Blu-ray version, it has a 4-minute overture at the start of it where you just get the music right at the start. I don't know if every version has that 4-minute overture or not, but I think it's worth it, just the extra 4 minutes, just to really get you into the film. It really just gets you in the mood for what to expect for this exciting film, and it really does a good job of that. So all in all, I have to say, King Kong, fantastic adventure film. I really think everybody can enjoy it. But then again, you have to bear in mind, some of it does look slightly dated. Obviously, it's 1933, like I keep saying, but really, I think it has mostly stood the test of time very well. And if you're in the mood for a good old-fashioned action adventure film with a big, scary monster, then you can't go wrong with this. So I'm going to give King Kong a 9 out of 10. So there we go. So that is King Kong. So what do you guys think? Have you seen King Kong? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Please let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.